she actually tried to set me up with her roommate.
If these facts aren't correct, you can snipe it too.
But what I'm saying is we got the opportunity to be friends first, and didn't even really. I considered it, but I wasn't on her radar, so I had to wait on her to be ready. Through college, we were good friends and kept in touch, and I say kept in touch. She likes to say that I was the way that helped her finish her college. She's a very smart young lady that's very capable. She's just smart enough that if somebody else would do it for her, she doesn't really have to. So that moves us into after college. We have two different stories of how this happened. My story
is not true.
My story is that after being out of college for about a year to a year and a half and grew apart a little bit, and we'd keep in touch every now and then, she came into town. She moved back to Dallas, and she'd come into town and would text me and say, hey, what are you doing? And the first 4 times she texted me, I was busy, which is pretty cool on my part. But anyway, and like the 5th time, I believe, I took her to Yamata, and I paid our entry thing because it was a Friday night to the bar side or whatever. And she thought that meant to me that we were on a date. And so from that point on, she made sure I didn't pay for anything that night to let me know that it was not a date. And so, like I say, she wasn't hitting on me when she wanted to go on the dates, but I like to say she wasn't. So that's her side. She just really didn't have anything else better to do in the great town of Tyler. So, that night went really well, and we hung out and everything, and actually 2 days later, again, we went out as friends to Applebee's one night. I mean, it's a big, nice Applebee's. And I don't think we got there until like 10 or 10:30. We just went to talk and have a few drinks, before she went back to Dallas. And afterwards, I had just bought a new truck recently, and I said, you should go back to my house and we'll go for a ride in my new truck. So we did, and she said, well, I'm only about 15 minutes, okay, after I pretty much forced her to. And I said, okay, it's fine. And my thought was, once she gets in my truck, she doesn't have a choice when she gets home. I'm driving. So instead of our 15-minute trip, she says, where are we going? Well, she figured it out when we got to the lake. I live about 15 minutes from the lake, and most people would take them to a nice, open moonlight part. There was moonlight, but there was also catfish trophies hanging about 100 yards into the lake under the high line. It's just closest part of the lake. She likes to joke that I took her to a very nice romantic place right next to a trailer park, and next to a busted boat ramp that we done hung out at. But she says that's kind of me in a nutshell. But we talked for, I think it was about 2 hours, and just talked, and still she has no interest in dating or anything. She's going to be embarrassed if I tell this not to tell anyone. And then randomly in the middle of the conversation, I just kissed her. Then she was like, oh, okay, I can do this. So, anyway, we talked a little bit longer. I took her home. And pretty much from then on, we've been inseparable. So now that leads to New York. We dated for 10 months now. And her mom planted the idea in my mom's head, who hounded me until I decided to do it. She was going to New York with a friend of hers who's a buyer for Dillard's, and had she gets free room, so Hillary got free board while she was in New York. Which is not cheap if you've been to New York. So she flew up there. There was 4 of them total, because there's 2 buyers and 2 people went with them. And Trinity, my roommate, and I, Trinity was supposed to be the cameraman. Didn't tell me until the day we were leaving that he didn't have a battery for his camera, so we'd have to go buy a new one. So we went and got it, and we get there, and me being me and Trinity being himself, we didn't know where we were going to stay. We brought a carry-on bag for the 3-day trip in New York, and we got off the plane and said, okay, now what? So my mom had told us that taxis were $80 from the airport to New York, which is a lie. They're like 40. But me being an accountant, I was like, not happening. Oh, there's a bus ticket, $13 a piece.
Oh
So
my
we proceeded to get on a bus and take a bus to what we decided to do at Grand Central Station. We were going to propose at, or I was going to propose. I was going to propose at the park. Totally don't watch the news or anything because the New York Marathon was going on. The park was shut down. Oh, last minute, we get off the camera like, Grand Central Station, sure, the bus goes there, it's the first stop. So here we are on this bus, we're trying to get out of the airport. I'm not even going to talk about the guy that got arrested for smuggling himself on the bus. But we finally get to Grand Central Station, and bear in mind, we're carrying our bags through New York. And so we go into Grand Central Station, we plan it out, okay, we're going to be here, we're going to do this, great, okay, now what? They got off the plane, her roommate, or not her roommate, her college roommate was working with me on how we're going to do this. Okay, we'll be there in like an hour and 15 minutes. One of the girls has to get her bag, and we'll be over there. We're going to come there first. You know, no big deal. It's like 2 o'clock, and we're expecting them there by 3. We got there about 1:30. And we said, okay, we'll go grab something to eat. And she says, yeah, I saw a cafe right up the road. We go to this cafe, and 2 big Texas boys walking around with boots and pearl snaps through New York fitting in real nice. We walk to the front, and there's a big, nice chalkboard sign that says, sandwiches special, $25. We're like, I saw KFC down there. So we go to KFC and everything, and so we go back, and so it's about 2:45. We're like, dude, we got to get that, and because they're going to be here. So we get ready, and we sit there, and we sit there, and we sit there. 3:30 comes along, Jill says, okay, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. We sit there till 4.
I think you're forgetting the part where you were getting nervous. Is
I
that what I heard?
I wasn't nervous at all.
Oh.
Yeah. So finally, long story short, as women like to do, we finally said, okay, we're going to go somewhere and have dinner, have a drink, and wait on them to get there. As soon as we ordered a drink, she texts and says, we're going to be there in 5 minutes. So never mind, we're running back upstairs. But we go up there after camping in the Grand Central Station for about 3.5 hours, 4 hours. And we're at the top of the east balcony stairwell at Grand Central Station. I'm going over my time. It's important. So I'm waiting at the top of the stairwell. Trinity's recording on this little camera because that was the best we could do because it didn't have battery. And Hillary and her 3 friends walk out, and she stops at the bottom of the stairwell, looks up, and takes a picture of us recording her, and has no idea. So she walks up to the top of the stairs, and I'm kind of hiding behind Trinity, because Trinity had joked with her about coming to New York, because he just wanted to go to New York. And I made a big deal, because I knew this was going to happen, that I was never going to New York. I was never be caught dead in New York. So she didn't have any idea I was going. So I'm hiding behind Trinity. She goes, Trinity? You were serious? And this is from me to Jenny, probably. And then I popped out, and she said, huh? And then me being me, I had this great speech prepared, which I've called off life for. I think actions speak louder than words. So, I got down on one knee and I said, well, I'm in New York. Will you marry me? She said yes, and that was it. And the girl said, did you do it? Yeah. Well, what'd you say? I already said it. So, anyway, she said yes, and she puts up with my non-romantic things like that pretty well. So, here we are, and we're going through the joys of planning a wedding. The less I have to do with it, the better. But, she's doing a good job, and we're trying to figure out all that. So she's being nice enough to let me spend my life with her. So here she is, and that's my